Hello, Aryan, am I audible? Aryan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a minute, wait. I will share screen. Can you see screen? Aryan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Just wait. Aniket Raj, Ayush Anand, they are coming. This class is only for mechanical, civil, electrical and EC branch. Only mechanical, civil, electrical, EC branch students, they are coming into this class. See, today there is no physics class for CSE branch. Today in routine there is no physics class for CSE branch students. I think CSE branch students in routine they are chemistry lab. So now today this class is remedial class. So I have completed I think 2 chapters. One is laser and another is module 1. Module 1 means quantum physics. So our college had conducted an internal exam on 21st to 26th June. So therefore, that's why we are studying these 2 chapters independently. Just a minute. Devasis Mato, Rishabh Roshan. So today I will discuss chapter ledger, which are already studied before 15 to 20 days. We are already studied this chapter, means ledger chapter. Now this ledger chapter is again repeated today. So first, what is the definition? First thing is, what is the definition of laser? What is the definition of laser? Means the full details definition of laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation is the, yes, hello, light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation is the full form of laser. In short question, suppose I have asked in objective question what is the full form of laser. That's why you have choose this form, this full form. Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Now, a definition of laser. In previous class, already we have studied about the definition of laser. In recent years, suppose some of the sources are developed which are highly coherent. In current years, some sources are developed and they are highly coherent. It means the radiation given by all the emitters in the source is mutual agreement, not in phase, but only in direction of emission and polarization. These coherent sources are called lasers. These coherent sources are called लेजर्स। ये हमारा डिफिनेशन है लेजर का। इन प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन और इन प्रेजेंट डे, some sources they are developed and they are highly coherent. It means the radiation given by all the emitters in the source is mutual agreement, not in phase, but in all the directions of emission and polarization. These coherent sources are called laser. Now, next is the properties of laser. Properties, what are the properties of laser and characteristics of laser? So, what is laser? So, laser is a device. Laser is a device. ये क्या है? Instrument. So, laser is a device which produces a very powerful beam of light of single color. Means it has it is monochromatic light. Single color means it is monochromatic light. And second property or characteristics of the laser is it is coherent. The laser source is coherent. Laser source is highly intensive, means it moves 1 to 2 kilometers or several kilometers like this. And laser light are unidirectional, means single, it moves only in, yes, somebody wants to tell? Hello? Laser light is unidirectional, means it moves only in single direction. Now, again I will repeat the characteristics or properties of the laser. So what is laser? Laser is a device which produces a very powerful beam of light which have single color. Means laser light is monochromatic. Yeah, I have written monochromatic. Laser light is coherent. Coherent means the photons are in the same phase. Laser light is highly intensive, as well as laser light have single currents. Laser light moves in a single direction, means it is unidirectional. Single direction. It moves only in single direction. Next, just a minute. Few of the candidates. Niraj Niranjan. Niraj Niranjan is a student of CSE branch. So, okay. Now, difference between ordinary light. Next question is, what is the difference between ordinary light and laser light? Ordinary light. So, ordinary light have 7 colors. Ordinary light is made up of 7 colors, but laser light is made up of only single color, means it is monochromatic. Ordinary light is incoherent. Here I have written incoherent. Just a minute. Rohit Rajwar. Ordinary light is incoherent, means the photons are not in the same phase. Incoherent means the photons are not in the same phase. Like when we switch on the torch, then we can see that the light moves in all directions. Like in forward direction, some part of the light moves in backward direction, some moves in left direction, or it may be moves in the right direction. So in ordinary light, suppose the light travels 2 centimeters or 1 feet from left direction, or it may be moves 3 feet in right direction, or in forward direction it travels 8 feet, backward direction it covers suppose half feet. area. So in that case, we can say that the photons are not in the same phase. Photons are in different areas. Photons are cover different areas. So we can say that photons are not in the same phase. Photons are not in the same phase. In that, next, but last point of ordinary light is ordinary light moves in all directions. All directions. But laser light have single color. Laser light have single color. Means it is monochromatic. Now, the second point of laser light means the properties of laser light is it is coherent. Coherent means the photons are in the same phase. When we switch on the laser light, we can see that laser light moves several meters or kilometers in forward direction. Suppose if you stand in Chaivasa admin building and you can on your laser light, so in that case you can observe that in initial stage, means at admin building, the laser light covers 2 centimeter left or right direction. So in that case, after going through the near about the road of highway, you can see the laser light also covers 1 to 2 centimeter in that in the position of highway. In the position of highway, it means the laser light cover 1 to 2 centimeter at admin building, but same area has been covered by laser light at the highway. So in that case, we can say that the photons are coherent. So laser light are coherent, means photons are in the same phase. So what is the difference between ordinary light and laser light? We can write that ordinary light have 7 colors. Ordinary light is made up of 7 colors. Laser light is made up of single color, means it is monochromatic. Ordinary light is incoherent. Ordinary light is incoherent, means the photons are not in the same phase, but laser light is coherent. Last point is ordinary light moves in all directions, but laser light moves only in one direction, single direction. So ordinary light can be known as means it moves all in all direction, but laser light is unidirectional, means it moves only in single direction. So what are the things first we have discussed? First, I have told what is the full form of laser. Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation is the full form of laser. Now, second is what is the definition of laser? So, in present day, some sources are developed. Just a minute. Some sources are developed which are highly coherent. It means the radiation given by the emitters in the source is not only in phase but also in the direction of emission and polarization. These coherent sources are known as lasers. Next point, what are the characteristics and properties of laser? So first is laser. First we can say that laser is a device which produces a very powerful beam of light of single color, means it is it has monochromatic beam of light. Laser light is coherent, means photons are in the same phase. Laser light is highly intensive, and it will move only in single direction. So laser light is known as, we can say that it is unidirectional. It is unidirectional. It moves only in single direction. Next point is, what is the difference between ordinary light and laser light? First, ordinary light is made up of 7 colors. Laser light is made up of only single color. Next point, laser light, ordinary light is incoherent, means the photons are not in the same phase, but laser light is coherent, means photons are in the same phase. Ordinary light moves in all directions, but laser light moves in only single direction, means it is known as unidirectional. Now, next thing is energy levels. Energy level, quantum transition, and absorption process. After that, we will go to spontaneous and stimulated emission. Energy levels. First thing is, what is energy level? So we know that if an atom, suppose this is the atom, atoms can take a definite value. Atoms can take a definite values when the atoms are placed in this level, this line, not level. When the atoms placed in this level or line, due to atom have some energy, this line or level is known as energy level. Due to the energy of atom, this line is known as energy levels. Now, if an atom jump from one energy level to here, just a minute, here we can say if an atom jumps from one energy level to other, or second energy level to first energy level. So this process is known as quantum transition. If an atom moves from lower energy level to upper energy level, or upper energy level to lower energy level, this process is known as quantum transition. Here I have written quantum transition. So in this figure, suppose E1 with the energy of lower energy level and E2 with the energy level, E2 with the upper energy level. Suppose the atom is in the lower energy, lower level E1, and the photon of energy, just suppose the atom is in the lower level here, and the photon of energy is incident on this atom. Here, photon is incident with this atom. The atom takes here, this atom takes all the energy of the photon and rise from lower energy level E1 to higher energy level E2 by absorbing this photon. Yeah, by absorbing this photon. This process is known as absorption. Here, yeah, absorption. I have written absorption. Means photon takes the energy of the photon. Here, this diagram is photon. Shows photon. This energy, this atom takes the energy of this photon and jumps from lower energy level to upper energy level. Means here the atom absorbs all the energy of this photon. So this process, absorption process, will take place here. Now we can say an atom in the lower energy level state U1, a photon of frequency mu. Here, if mu be the frequency of this photon, can excite the atom to higher energy level, provided the energy, we know that E is equal to h mu. Here I have written E is equal to h mu. E be the energy of the photon. So the absorption process will take place by according to this figure. Now, next is the suppose question will ask what is the difference between spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. So spontaneous emission, first thing is spontaneous emission. So E1 and E2, these are the energy levels. E1 be the lower energy level and E2 be the upper energy level. If a particle passes from this higher energy level, higher state to lower energy state, it emitting a photon. Here, look this figure. It emitting a photon, single photon, and the energy of the photon is h mu. This process is known as spontaneous emission. Before this figure, I have draw these two lines. Here, lower energy state is E1 and upper energy state is E2. Now, next figure indicates the process of spontaneous emission. If a particle passes from higher energy, here in figure 1, I have placed an atom in the upper energy level. So, according to this diagram, according to this figure 1, we can say that if a particle passes from higher energy level to lower energy level, it emitting a photon of energy h mu. According to this diagram, second diagram will arise, and second diagram state that if an atom jumps from upper energy level to lower energy level, it emits a energy single photon of energy E is equal to h mu. After reaching to the lower energy state, the atom is to be stable. After reaching to the lower energy level, the atom is to be stable. So this process is known as spontaneous emission. Now, next is this stimulated emission. Here, stimulated emission. The incidence of radiation of the particle, of this particle, which is in the excited state. Here, excited state means upper energy state. Stimulates the emission of a similar radiation by the particle by transition to lower energy state. This type of emission is called stimulated emission. The incidence of a transition on the particle, which is in the excited state, here, upper energy state, stimulated the emission of similar radiation by the particle by transition to lower energy level or lower energy state. This type of emission is known as stimulated emission. One thing I am missing. If an atom jumps from upper energy level to lower energy level, it takes time 10 to the power minus 8 seconds. 10 to the power minus 8 seconds. If an atom jumps from upper energy level to lower energy level, it takes 10 to the power minus 8 seconds. And after taking this 10 to the power minus 8 seconds, the atom reaching to the lower energy level and have to be stable. So this is the case for spontaneous emission. Now stimulated emission. Stimulated emission, the incidence of a radiation here in this figure, the incidence of a radiation on the particle which is in the upper energy level stimulated the emission of a similar radiation by the particle into the lower energy level. This type of emission is known as stimulated emission. Means here there are two or more than two photons are emitted according to this emission process. In spontaneous emission, here there are single photons are emitted, but for stimulated emission, there are two or more than two photons are emitted during this process. So, in university exam, question may be asked that what is the difference between absorption, spontaneous emission, and stimulated emission. So, in that case, we can say that an atom has an energy level. An atom and an energy atom has its own energy, and if an atom lies in a level known as energy level, here there are two energy levels, E1 and E2. Suppose an atom is kept or placed at the lower energy level E1. If a photon of energy h mu is incident on this atom, the atom takes all the energy of the photon and it jumps to the upper energy level. So in that case, the absorption process will help. In this condition, the absorption process will help. So this process is known as absorption. So in this case, we can say again, also we can say that an atom, a photon of frequency h mu, here this is the photon, a photon of frequency h mu can excite the atom to the higher energy state. So h mu equal to E2 minus E1, higher energy level to lower energy level. This process is known as absorption. Now next is the spontaneous emission. Here spontaneous emission, a particle lying in the upper energy level E2 and tries to come to the lower energy level by itself, and after remaining these, it takes 10 to the power minus 8 seconds, and after that the atom has to be stable. So if a particle passes from higher energy level to lower energy level, it emitting a photon of energy h mu, this process is known as spontaneous. And here in next figure, this figure indicates the process for stimulated emission. The incidence of a radiation on the particle which is in the excited state, upper energy level, stimulated the emission of similar radiation by the particle in the lower energy state. This type of emission is known as stimulated emission. Now, next is the population inversion. Population inversion. The population inversion. Suppose if the lower energy level here, if the lower energy level of the medium is more populated than the upper energy level, we know that if the lower energy level of the medium is more populated than the upper energy level, here in this diagram, then absorption process will take place. In absorption process, here look this in this diagram. इस क्लास को अपग्रेड कर रहे हैं, इसके बाद फिर एक क्लास लेंगे, इसी लिंक में ज्वाइन करोगे?
ओके सर.
If we know that, just a minute, we know that if the lower energy level, look my cursor, if the lower energy level is more populated than the upper energy level, then the absorption process will take place. Here, absorption process. If the upper energy level, like this, in this diagram, if the upper energy level is more populated than the lower, the process of stimulated emission will take place. For laser action, higher population is required in this upper energy level. For laser action, laser कार्य करने के लिए, for laser action, higher population is required in the upper energy level, is known as population inversion. This is the main theme of this population inversion. So, we can say that when in thermal equilibrium, like this, if we can take a container and atoms are are placed inside this container. Here, this is the container, and after heating the container, we can say that atoms are randomly moves in all directions. So in this case, we can see that all the absorption process, spontaneous emission, and stimulated emission are take place. It means when in thermal equilibrium at temperature T, the number of atoms distributed among various energy levels. Here, the number of these atoms are distributed among several energy levels. Then, according to Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution function, previously I have I have already told that Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution function states that Ni is equal to NO E epsilon EI divided by K beta. Here beta, K beta into T. According to this equation, Ni is the number of atoms having energy level EI. Suppose here E1, E2, E3, E4, write this uppermost energy level is suppose EI. So in this upper energy level, Ni be the number of atoms present in the upper energy level. So here Ni, we can say that Ni be the number of atoms having energy Ti, and NO, and not, we can say only N not be the number of atoms in the lower energy level, ground state energy level, like this E1. So NO and not be the number of atoms in the ground state. Here K beta is the Boltzmann constant, and T is the absolute temperature. Now, if we take these diagrams, in these diagrams there are two energy levels are given, and suppose in lower energy level N1 be the number of atoms are present in the energy level E1, and for energy level E2 the number of atoms are present in this energy level is N2. So in that case we can say that here in place of Ni we can write N2 is equal to N is equal to, here in place of N naught we can write N1. If we choose these diagrams, according to this diagram there are two energy levels are given here. One is E1 and another is E2 energy level diagram. Now E1 in energy level have number of atoms are present in this energy level E1 is suppose N1, and for this energy level N2 have E2 have number of atoms N2 are present. So according to these diagrams we can say N2 divided by N1. Here we are writing N2 is equal to N1 E epsilon EI divided by K beta T. EI means the difference between the energy levels, ground state energy level and uppermost energy level. So in place of EI, we can write, if we can choose, if we can take in only two diagrams, these two energy levels. So in that case, we can write E1 minus E2 divided by K beta into T. Here, K beta into T. K beta is the Boltzmann constant and T with the absolute temperature is equal to, it may be written as E epsilon. Here E1 minus E2 is equal to E. E means energy. E equal to H mu. So E, in place of E, we can write only H mu. H is the Planck constant, mu is the frequency, divided by K beta T. So population inversion takes place, and the resultant of the population inversion is equal to N2 by N1 is equal to E epsilon H mu divided by K beta T. So regarding this inversion, population inversion, we can draw first. We can draw this absorption process diagram. After that, we can draw these energy level diagrams for spontaneous and stimulated emission of radiation. Now, after that, drawing this diagram, we have told that regarding absorption process, first we can say about absorption process. If lower energy level is more populated than higher energy level, so in that case absorption process will take place. If now see these diagrams, if upper energy level is more populated than lower energy level, in that case stimulated emission will take place. For laser action, higher population is required in the upper energy level. For laser action, a higher population is required. Means population is greater, is higher than the lower energy level. So according to, so if we take a container, and in this container some of the atoms are placed, and this container is heated with a temperature T. After that, we can see the atoms moves in all directions. So all these processes, absorption, spontaneous emission, and stimulated emission will take place due to heating of this container. So we can say, according to the word of physicist, as a physicist, we can say when in thermal equilibrium at a temperature T, the number of atoms distributed among among various energy levels. According to Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution function, we know that Ni is equal to N naught E epsilon EI divided by K beta T, where Ni, suppose here there are two energy levels. In place of this, if we can take, suppose there are several energy levels, lower energy level is E1 and upper energy level is suppose EI. So in that case, the number of atoms in the lower energy level is N naught in lower energy level E1. But in upper energy level EI, the number of atoms is Ni. So according to that diagram, we can say that Ni is the total number of atoms having energy EI. N naught with the number of atoms in the lower energy level, that is ground state. K beta here, K beta is the Boltzmann constant, and T with the absolute temperature. If we take these diagrams, this second, third, fourth diagram, so according to this diagram, we can say if E1 with the lower energy level, and it takes N1 number of atoms, and E2 with the upper energy level, and it have N2 number of